What's going on, everyone, and welcome to my review of the newly released Bravely Default 2. Now, if you've never played any of the series, you don't have to, I guess, start with the first one or the second one to enjoy this one. They do seem to do some callbacks, not necessarily to the story of the other ones, at least so far, but it definitely does kind of make some references that I guess you would understand a bit more if you played the first one or Bravely second. But again, you can jump in anywhere. If you didn't have the DS or the 3DS to play the older ones, it's a great one to jump into. So the review, I'm not going to really get any spoilers in here, so you don't have to worry about that. Most of the gameplay that's shown is fairly early on, so yeah, don't need to necessarily worry about that, but there may be a couple of things just to kind of be aware of with some of the gameplay that'll be showing while we talk about it. So just keep that in mind if you've never played it, or if you have, most likely you're probably past the area that's going to be shown. Anyways, yeah, so got a lot to talk about. We'll start off with just a couple of the bad things, and I guess the cons of the game, just kind of get those out of the way. So first off, I have to say, because it's the most annoying piece, at least so far, is I guess it'd be a delay. I don't know if you could can lump it in with frame rate, but for the most part, and it's kind of on and off, but I'd say maybe four times out of five, when I hit the plus button to get into a party chat, there's a significant delay, like I mean upwards sometimes 2 or 3 seconds. So really odd. It doesn't happen all the time, and at first I thought maybe it was like my Joy-Cons, because I have the aftermarket, the Horia Joy-Cons, so I'm like, well, maybe it's that. But with the Pro Controller in dock mode, still the same thing. Yeah, I don't know, but it is something to be aware of. If you have noticed it, well, I guess it'd be part of the game itself, and not part of the system. But yeah, so that's the biggest thing. I mean, I guess some of the time getting into the menu kind of does the same thing as a bit of a delay. So it could be maybe it's just an input lag that is heavier or lighter depending on the situation. And then the other aspect is frame rate. Or I guess tied into with the delay might be part of that as well. But there has been some issues so far, and that in the about 21 hours I've played so far, and there has been times where it has some significant frame rate I guess drop. A lot of time, especially when in like loading screens, you have the little lantern in the bottom right hand corner, and you can significantly you can see that that animation stops completely and takes a couple of seconds, then it resumes, things like that. So yeah, I mean, really, but overall so far it hasn't been, I guess, anything game breaking. Hasn't been anything that I guess ruins the experience in that aspect, but just a couple things, little pet peeves and a little nitpicking to start us off, I guess. But that out of the way, now, I mean, again, those are only a couple of things. I mean, you could, well, I mean, it's probably pretty easy to determine that I really like the game, especially because those are the only 2 things that I can say that's bad about it. But let's just take it kind of on a list, just in a list format of honestly what I think is great about the game. So first off, graphics. I'll start off with that. Just kind of, I guess it's more of the middle ground. There has been times where, mainly when I'm in docked mode, and I guess it could be the size of the TV as well. I'm playing on a 70-inch. That you definitely can kind of see some fuzzing a little bit, not quite as crisp, mainly for the character models. The environment so far look great. Dock mode, didn't really see any issue with that aspect, so it could just be with that higher resolution that it kind of struggles a little bit. So it's not bad by any means, honestly. I mean, the game looks beautiful. The environments look great. The animations are spot on. But again, yeah, just I guess depending on the size of your TV, or it could be maybe the HDMI cable, I don't know. But yeah, little bit of fuzzing on some of the character models, and kind of when you move a little bit. So it's not the best, but I mean, for what the Switch can do, it works great, and it is a beautiful game. Next, we'll get into the sound. Well, I mean, we'll include the voice acting for that aspect, and the sound, the audio, the music is so good. It is awesome. It's times where, like, I've played both where, or I've been, where I have the sound down if I'm watching a show or watching a movie, a TV show, where, I'm playing it and I don't have any sound on it. And honestly, there's been multiple times where, it's like I feel like I'm missing something. You gotta have that music playing. So far, every scenario I've been in, every town, every I guess area, the music has just been spot on, just suits it and complements what you're doing, the situation, the world, your characters. It just complements them so well, and it is beautiful. And I'll play a little clip, as we're talking about it here, just to kind of get you to, like, just listen to it a little bit. It's awesome. Yeah. See, so. Yeah, love it, love it. I'm excited for what else they got, because again, I'm still fairly early on in the game, so it's just going to get bigger and better hopefully as we go. And to go along with that, the voice acting. There has been a couple of ones where I wouldn't say they're bad, but it's kind of like, okay, it's just kind of, I guess, a middling performance. In that aspect, it could just be maybe just the dialogue that goes with it, but for the most part, all the main characters and a lot of the side characters, a lot of the just different NPCs that you meet when they have the voice acting has been so good. It's been awesome. It's diverse enough that and the voices bring about, like, the dialogue, and it brings it to life in just such a way that it just makes you invested in those characters. And each of the four main characters that you have, and a bunch of side ones, like, they have just such unique personalities, and the voice acting really brings it out and brings those characters alive in such a great way. So top notch. I have nothing bad to say about that. They're great. that's all you need to say. All you need to know. All right. So like I said before, I'm not going to really get into the story at all. But so far, the story elements that I have been pretty, I guess, what's a good word for it? Riveting. It's from just the start of it. It kind of hooks you, just kind of teases more and more, and just kind of it just leads you on, wants you to get to the next place. Makes you want to see what happens next. And it also, so far, the couple places that I've been, there's been some nice twists where, because as you're playing, a lot of time you can kind of guess, oh yeah, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. And so far I've been pleasantly surprised that there's been some unique storytelling in it, which makes it really nice. It gives it a fresh take than a lot of traditional RPGs where you're like, okay, I know this is going to happen. I know this is going to happen. It's the hero saving the day, and nothing they can never go wrong, that kind of thing. So, yeah, story been awesome. I have so much more to experience on it, but we'll kind of leave it at that, and hopefully you guys will experience it for yourselves if you have the game. If not, then get it to enjoy it. All right, and the last main thing we'll talk about in terms of I guess reviewing it would be kind of the balance. And I can kind of see this kind of going in multiple ways. So far, in my opinion, the balance is almost perfect, I would say. There has been a couple of times where it feels like, at least in terms of like the difficulty, that it feels a little bit overarching. It's been a little bit, the difficulty gets ramped up very quickly depending on what area you're in. But it honestly, I guess, almost seems like it's they want you to grind a bit, and so it could be I'm just not grinding enough in between these areas. But the thing I like about it is there are 3 difficulties, so easy, normal, and hard. And so I'm playing on the normal right now. I don't even want to know how hard would be. You'd have to grind a ton. And easy, I think, would be easy. It'd be way too easy in my opinion. But the thing I like about it is that with the job system, which it has, I guess if you don't know, the Bravely series in general all implements a job system. So the different jobs give you different abilities. It gives you different move sets, different weaknesses and strengths, and so forth. So this one still has that, just like the predecessors. And so far, most of the jobs have been fairly straightforward. Nothing too crazy. All fairly predictable in that aspect. But it's one where you can really play with what party you have to give you the advantage or disadvantage. So that's one thing I really like about it, is that it brings a balance to it that, if you play your cards right, you can, for the most part, kind of breeze through an area without too much grinding and without too much difficulty. But if you, I guess, choose a bad party, or you have one of your characters that is in a job that it doesn't really complement it in the area you're in, you're gonna die very quickly. So that's what I really like about it, is it gives that tactic and that strategy that, you know, you're not just breezing through things, you know, just button mashing, but it's also just not brutally difficult where you have to sit there and just grind and grind and grind. So I really like it. Again, so far I've had almost no problem with it. There's been a couple of times where I feel like I'm like, man, I'm dying a lot, and then it was more of, again, just had to change the job on one character, and that was it. So yeah, other than that, it's been really, really good with that aspect, which will lead us into, there's a couple of things that, again, if you've never played it, or you are just getting started, or even if you are 10, 15, 20 hours in, a couple of things that may help you out if you haven't noticed it already or haven't seen it. Or I guess if you have, it'll be reiterating it. So first off, I did mention is your party makeup. It's so important. You want to have a good balanced party. But at the same time, like as you're going along, you're like, oh, you know what? I'm going to switch my job. And a lot of times that just switching your job because you want to get more experience, want to gain new abilities, that can ruin it for you. That can ruin it for you depending on the area you're in. So you really got to pay attention to what jobs you have and what abilities you have for the area that you're in. And what I'd recommend is that if you are wanting to gain levels and gain job gain job points to get different abilities for different jobs, is wait until you can go back to a previous area, which they do make it easy. They have a fast travel system in each of the towns. That wait until basically you're overpowered enough that the enemies in an early area will run from you. And so it's a little tip. I've seen it in a couple of places, but basically depending on what area you're in, I guess every area is going to have like little corners where if you can make enemies run to a corner, then they can't escape. You know, they'll try to after their the little brief amount of time, they'll try to walk back to the original area, and you can just scare them again. But basically, you corral a big group of enemies in there. You know, I think the most I had was maybe like 8 or 9, and so if you get them all into an area and then attack them, you know, either swing your sword or just run into them. Either way, you're going to do a chain battle, which will do every battle that's in every I guess group of monsters that's in that vicinity. It's going to go just back to back to back, and you'll get a job point bonus. The more battles you have consecutively, the bigger that bonus gets. And I think it's +3 or ×3 is the biggest one. So it's one thing, again, go play a little bit, get 10, 15 hours into it, go back to a previous area, like the very beginning area, just right out of, how do they pronounce the town? I think Halcyonia? I don't know, I can't remember. And so a lot of those enemies will run away from you, little goblins, the Sahagins, and on the beach. The beach area was one of the places that worked the best for me, just because you can kind of funnel them all in just in the very edge of the map there on the beach, and you can get, I think the most I got was like 1,600 job points all at once. So great. It's a great way to grind out some job points, a great way to get some of those abilities, and that gives you more play to mix and match some of those abilities and some of the job abilities that you can equip regardless of what job you are. So again, just a couple things to get you started if you haven't. Yeah, let me know in the comment section if you have some other tips and tricks, because I'm sure there's a ton that I don't know about. But also, I guess, what do you guys think of the game? Have you played it right now? Are you liking it? Do you like it more than the other ones? Do you miss some of the features that were in the older ones? The only one I can think of was like I can't remember if it was on the first one, but I know it was on the second one, where it'll remember your previous move, but you can do it for the entire party and not just each character. Because in this one, you can do for each character, you just remember what their last action was, whether it was just 1 attack, up to 4 attacks, whatever, and you could just repeat it and repeat it. So it does streamline battles. But again, is there anything that you wish they were doing there? Or what do you think? Do you like it? Do you not like it? But yeah, other than that, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon down below if you haven't. It really helps out. And like I mentioned in some previous videos, we are going to do a giveaway once we hit that 50 subscribers. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. That way, you know, once we hit that 50, which we're getting pretty close, then we'll do a giveaway, and you can be in the running to maybe get some free stuff, either a free game, gift card. I don't know what we'll do, so we'll see. Until next time, we'll talk to you guys later.